This is 2024, the deferred paper, paper 2, and it's question 1. Question 1 is on the line, so let's have a look. We're given a triangle here, and we're given the three vertices P, Q and R, so they're all there clearly shown on the diagram. And the first thing we're asked is really a junior cycle question to find the midpoint of PQ. So you just use the midpoint formula from the tables, the average of the x's and the average of the y's. And you fill them in here from your 2 points, label your 2 points, of course, x1, y1 and x2, y2, and there you have it, and you get 5, 1. Hence, or otherwise, find the equation of the perpendicular bisector of PQ. So the perpendicular bisector means you bisect it, you get the midpoint, and then you draw a perpendicular. So if you can imagine that line there perpendicular to PQ through the halfway point, through the midpoint, which we've just got, 5, 1. Okay, so the idea here is, of course, to get the slope of PQ, and once we have that, we can get the perpendicular slope of the perpendicular bisector. So slope of PQ first, using your slope formula from the tables again, fill it in for P and Q, and you get a slope of 4. Now, if that's the case, if that's a slope of 4, the perpendicular must be, you turn it upside down and change the sign, basically. That's how you get perpendicular slopes. So that's really 4 over 1. Turn upside down, it's 1 over 4, and change the sign to a minus. Now you have the slope of the perpendicular. You also know the point on the perpendicular bisector, 5, 1, the midpoint. And you can just use your equation of a line now. Y minus y1 is m into x minus x1, again from the tables. Fill it in with the information up here, and you get this line down here, x plus 4y minus 9 equals 0. So that's one perpendicular bisector, which means, again, if the line going here, along here through the midpoint. Now, we're going to be asked on the next page to get the circumcenter, which means the intersection of two perpendicular bisectors. So we've already got this line. Now we're going to pick this line here, maybe this perpendicular bisector, and where those two intersect, that's the circumcenter, as we call it, of the circle. Now, something to just observe here might make life easier. 4 minus 3 and 10 minus 3, that's basically a horizontal line, because the y value is the same for both of them, if you think about it. If you imagine where they're plotted on the plane, that's a horizontal line. So that means we already know the perpendicular is going to be a vertical line. Okay. Now, but if you didn't know that, if you hadn't spotted that, doesn't matter, because what you do now is you're going to have to get another perpendicular bisector, as I said. So we need to find the midpoint here, and then draw the perpendicular. So again, use your midpoint formula for these 2 points, Q and R this time, and you get 7 minus 3. And we know if it's 7 minus 3, perpendicular line through that, the vertical through that basically is the line we're after. The interesting thing is, if you get the slope of, as I said, of QR first, it's horizontal, so the slope is 0, as we'd expect for a horizontal line. So perpendicular normally means turn upside down and multiply, turn upside down and change the sign. We can't do that here because that's 0 over 1, which is 0. So turn upside down is 1 over 0, which is undefined. We can't work that out. So that rule lets us down here. It doesn't work in this situation. But what we do know, as I said, is that it's definitely a perpendicular. It's a vertical line. And the equation of a vertical line is very simple. It's just that the x value is always 7. It's going through the point 7, 0, or 7 minus 3. So the x value, you should pick some examples of points along that line. It's always 7 something. So the x value is 7. And that is the equation of the line, x equals 7. That's the rule. That's what the equation of a line means, really. It's the rule for all points on that line. And the rule for a point to be on that line is that the x value has to be 7. So there's the equation. So now, back to the big picture of what's happening here again. We're trying to get the intersection of those two perpendicular bisectors. That's what a circumcenter is. So we have the first one from the last page here. Now we have a new one, x equals 7. So where they intersect, you simply put x equals 7 in this equation over here. And you get a y value, y is a half. Which means the circumcenter is 7 a half. Because we know it's going to be 7 no matter what on that line. So it's 7 a half. Now B is a separate question really. The line AB intersects the x-axis at A and the y-axis at B. So this is paper 2. Diagrams are very important, whether you're asked or not. Usually drawing a diagram is going to help. So that's what I did here. I just drew a quick sketch. I imagined that's the x-axis, that's the y-axis, and I'm drawing a line that cuts them at A and B. So draw out what it's saying in text there. It cuts at A and B. I put them on this side because I know it also goes through minus 6, 2, which is roughly minus 6 and 2 up, minus 6 across and 2 up. So I kind of know it's on that side. I don't know the exact details, but we know that much anyway. Now we also know that minus 6, 2 is the midpoint. So we can use midpoint formula yet again. Also, our knowledge of the equation of a line, if you take the x-axis, if you think about all the points on the x-axis, the y value is always 0. It's always something 0. So the y value is 0. So we actually know already the point A that the y value is 0. So we call the x point just x1 for the moment. Same idea with B. It's on the y-axis. So any point on the y-axis is going to be 0 something, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, etc. So in the case of the y-axis, the x value is always 0. So put in 0 for the x value, and we'll call the y value y2. And now we can use our midpoint formula. That's the midpoint, as we're told. So use the formula from the tables. Here it is. So x1 plus x2, which is 0 over 2. y1 plus y2, which is 0 plus y2 over 2. That's your midpoint. And we know the answer, so we're kind of working backwards here. We already know the answer is minus 6, 2. So now what we do is we match up the x part here with the x part here, and then we match up the y part here with the y part over here. So when you do that, you get x1 over 2 equals minus 6, the x's match up, and do the same for the y's. y2 over 2 equals 2. Multiply across, minus 12. Multiply across, you get 4. And there you have it. You have your two x values. You have the x value here, minus 12, so that slots in here. The y value 4, that slots in up here. So we have our 2 points, minus 12, 0, and 0, 4. Minus 12, 0, 0, 4. And that's it. That's the end of question 1. We're now going on to question 2 in the next video.